Welcome to the first Friday takeaway for April. This week we talk about newbie Eco World International and a buoyant Serba Dinamik. Let's go. The US stock market, which has been on a tear recently, felt a chill run up its spine after the Fed released its minutes, where the main message from Janet Yellen and crew seemed to be, expect another rate hike soon. Among the other key takeaways were not to expect any fiscal stimulus until 2018, while some seem to think that the stock market valuation is high. In short, nothing that the stock market really wants to hear. On the other hand though, things seem to be looking up for Malaysia's GDP, with two banks reiterating that GDP growth seems to be on a more solid footing. Asian Development Bank is expecting growth to pick up to 4.4% this year and 4.6% in 2018, while Standard Chartered raised its forecast from 3.8% to 4.1% due to the recent export recovery. Talking about that, the government this week also passed a tourism tax bill after an almost marathon 20-hour session. The bill imposes a tax on any tourist staying in certified accommodations to pay a fixed rate. According to reports, the revenue collected could be more than 650 million. However, details are still kind of fuzzy and it seems kind of counterproductive, doesn't it, to the government's aim to boost tourism. The market continued to see profit-taking, with blue chips trading sideways and buying momentum picking up on selected oil and gas counters, which we will go back to. As at 10:37, the FBM KLCI was 1,738.25 points, still lower than last week's close, but that may change as the day progresses. TA Securities sees immediate uptrend supports at 1730 and 1715, with immediate overhead resistance at 1758 points. In general, analysts are in agreement that Asian markets are waiting to see the outcome of the meeting between China President Xi Jinping and POTUS Trump. Xi's trip with the unpredictable POTUS is being planned down to a T, so as to avoid what happened with Japanese PM Shinzo Abe, where Trump comically shook his hand for a hilarious 19 seconds, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, whose hand he didn't shake at all, probably because he didn't think she was a 10. So far, Trump says he has developed a friendship with Xi. Let's see how long that lasts. However, there were some movers this week and that caught our attention. These guys are the international property arm of the Eco World Group, with properties in London and Sydney. They are helmed by some very well-known property players. Tan Sri Luki Sin is Executive Vice Chairman and Datuk Teo Leong Seng is President and CEO. Break out the champagne, the company successfully completed its listing this week, raising more than 2.5 billion ringgit. In addition to that, it has some pretty strong shareholders in the form of GuocoLand. And the company said that it will be submitting a compelling proposal to GuocoLand after identifying certain assets owned by the Guoco Group in London. Concerns include the current unsure state of the global economy and how issues such as Brexit will continue to impact property. The stock saw a solid debut on listing day, closing 6.7% higher than its listing price at 1 ringgit 28. It has come down a little and was trading at 124 as at 10:38 this morning, but is still above the issue price. Before the IPO, Kenanga Research's report had a target price of 1 ringgit 33. So, Serba Dinamik, what do? They provide energy solutions to the ONG and power generation industries. It has operational facilities in Malaysia, Indonesia, UAE, Bahrain, and the UK, and they're headed by the wonderfully mono-named Dato' Karim. So, the group recently bagged 5 contracts worth a total of just under $500 million ringgit. The contracts, it said, would enhance its position among the top providers of maintenance, repair and overhaul services domestically and internationally. The risk that they have to face is that there's always this risk of a possible slowdown in work orders, which would undoubtedly affect business. So according to Bloomberg, only Affin Hwang Investment covers the stock, but at least they have a buy on it with a target price of 240. This morning at 10:30, the stock was trading at a 52-week high of 1 ringgit 84, 1 cent higher than it was yesterday. And in fact, the stock has been on a little bit of a tear ever since the announcement of the contracts. Trading volumes on Thursdays were over 60 million shares. On a Wednesday, it was over 21 million shares.